Hello, this is the Vikstrand and welcome to the winter. Today we are going to talk about Wes Craven's new Nightmare. Let's get one thing out of the way first. I don't like the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. I think as horror movies goes, they are okay. They were based on two things: creative special effects and Freddy Krueger. I didn't like any of them. I didn't think Freddy was scary. I thought he was a bit of a dick, but not scary, and I don't know. It just didn't work for me. With that said, I think this is the best one, because it takes a creative idea and seriously rolls with it. This movie is basically the birth of the meta genre, where we have the characters from the movie playing themselves. Now, this takes place in the real world. I'm saying real world with a big quotation mark. This is the 10th anniversary of the original Nightmare on Elm Street movies, and Heather Langenkamp, who played Nancy, plays Heather Langenkamp, film actor who played Nancy, and Robert Englund, who played, of course, Freddy. He plays Freddy, and through the power of the actual movies and the fear that it has created, Freddy is sort of able to slip into the real world. So Wes Craven, who plays Wes Craven, gets into his head that Nancy, because she was the only one who defeated him, she could be able to defeat the real Freddy Krueger in the real world, who has escaped from, the world of fiction. This is a truly unique concept, and I have to give them props for trying. The idea that movies affect the people who played them, and I think it is an interesting, peek behind the curtains of Hollywood. I love usually these kind of things where you get to see what was it like to film movies like this, and this could have been an excellently unique movie. Unfortunately, being ahead of the curve, which this movie was, the meta genre would reach its absolute peak when Scream was released 2 years later. Unfortunately, in this case, means not quite ready enough. They still use the same tropes and the same ideas to get the horror across as the other movies. Freddy being scary, which he is not. The concept is flawed, but the execution is pretty good. I mean, this is a movie that really should have been a found footage movie. I don't like found footage movies that much. It could have been used sort of as a, documentary about the making of the next Freddy Krueger movie, and then you would see that, these kind of things would happen, and you would have talking heads when Wes Craven and Nancy and all that stuff, were talking about what the movies had meant for them, and then you would slowly see how Freddy would be inserted into the real life situation. That's the way to do it. That's the way to execute a movie like this. Now they more did it as a half and half kind of thing, with this being a standard horror movie, with the introduction of that this is taking part in the real world and the people playing themselves, including New Line Cinema's CEO playing the New Line Cinema CEO. That's a great work. It's a shame, really. This is a movie that should have been one of Wes Craven's greatest movies. Now it is just the best movie that was made in the Freddy Krueger franchise. To be fair, it works, but it should have been one of the best and most interesting movie that was made in the mid-90s when it comes to this one, because it was something unique, at least on paper. The execution isn't bad. The actors do a pretty good job at convincing you that this is really what happens. I have to talk a little bit about the ending, because the ending, that is a stellar one. You see, that is when the really cleverness of the script comes into place. This basically saves the movie. I think that was what they were going for. Until then, we're just gonna have to sit through all of this not very scary thing and see this not very scary thing. It's always a shame when you have a great concept and the concept isn't really thought out. Better luck next time, I suppose. When it comes to Wes Craven's horror movies, he would peak eventually 2 years later with Scream, which is still his best work ever, which both rejuvenated the slasher genre and killed it at the same time. We will talk about that when we talk about Scream eventually down the line. Yes, this movie gets a 63. I like it. Flawed, but it's enjoyable. Fresh winter day today. It's a good day to talk about Wes Craven's New Nightmare, I think. What do you think about it? What do you think is the best of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies? Comment below and we'll see each other next time, because the Wikstrand is signing out.